Good morning. It is Friday morning, August 29th at the lovely RIPAUSASales.com dealership in Boyd, Texas. So today we're going to be talking about how to take care of your unit. I don't know how to flip the camera around. So again, as I've said in other videos, I'm here to post content to help people, not to learn how to become the greatest video editor out there. So anyway, it's raining cats and dogs. So I've got a number of our units inside and I'm going to be talking about some of them. So the main purpose of this goal is, or the main purpose of this video is to explain how to take care of your machine from a grease standpoint. So I'm going to kind of go through this, and I'm going to be picking on mostly the R22, but I've got the R32 over there. I've got mini skid steers, R18s, R10s out. On the other side, I've got R15s, the whole 9 yards. I've even got an R57 over there we're getting ready to deliver. But anyway, so starting at the front of this unit, you can see there's grease fittings here. Now, these grease fittings go over here, and then basically they just help with keeping the unit or keeping less wear and tear on the pins. On the coupler, you've got some pins, like for example, this is a hydraulic coupler right here. So the pins aren't going to have a lot of wear and tear on them here. Like for example, you can see how minimal play is on this. All of the weight is up here, right? So we're going to grease those. Anything that can move, you want to grease, and you don't have to go to town on these. Now, a lot of people will say, man, I really love those, like the DeWalt or whoever makes them, the powered grease couplers or the grease pumps. I'm not really a fan of those. So I don't know, I'm still learning so much every day, but I don't know excavators. I know skid steers, and I really know, shameless plug, you can see it over there, I know the Cummins engine. I've got a 10,000 pound car lift at home. I've replaced head studs, deleted my 2012 dually. This is brand new when we started doing this dealership. So I know how to wrench, but for me, this right here is what I like. I like the old tried and true, everything manual, grease, pump, whatever you want to call it. And I do have this little attachment on here to keep it on the grease fitting. The other part right now, Ripa has two different types of grease fittings. So they have like this, the pointy end kind, and then they've got like that right there, right? So in the refresh that they just announced, they're replacing these and they're standardizing them with those, the pointer ones. So we're not going to need this, which I can't stand. The old version, like the 2019 and earlier Dodge Rams, they had one of those on the drive shaft that literally most people didn't know about, and it was a major pain to get up in there because the grease fitting, instead of it looking like this, I mean, it looked like a 1800 style hypodermic needle that was about this long that you had to get up in there. The drive shaft had to be just positioned correctly for you to be able to see it. Most people were like, where is it? Where is it? So like I did videos on that, like on the Cummins forums and whatever. But anyway, so back to this. So basically, the reason why I like the manual and not the powered one is with powered, you have no idea until grease just starts squirting out the other side, meaning you might have damaged or at a minimum ruptured the seal on the other side over there where the grease just starts exploding out. With the powered, I can feel that pressure building up in my hand every single time I squeeze the pump. Additionally, I'm listening. So as it starts to fill out, you'll either see, like right here, you'll be able to see the grease coming out and immediately stop, or you'll start hearing it as it starts to get pushed out. As soon as I start hearing it, I'm done. Okay. So again, just starting down here, and I'm going to cover the whole machine, but you've got grease fittings everywhere. And there's one up there, here, all the way down, here, here. These I'm going to talk about specifically later. Same video, this one, but you'll see I've got a bunch of supporting documentation on that. And then don't forget, just because you did the boom, now you need to come to the other side. So you've got more, there's 5 here, and then you just look all the way around where everything is, here, there. And then you have to remember that you have these. So there's going to be one here. There's one up there. Let me see if I can get to it. You can see it. Test my insurance. There's one right there. Okay. Down here, anywhere there's a cylinder, there's going to be grease fitting. So you've got one there, you've got one there, and then way back there, you've got one over there. You've got one up there. Okay. Obviously, the grease to adjust the track. Now, real quick aside, I can't stand working on the floor. So anytime I get a new vehicle, I can't stand the floor mats. I keep them, and that's now what I kneel on. Me being the cheap person that I am. Okay. So these, I'm going to talk about these. I'm going to show you a couple different machines. So this is an R32. So you'll see there's 3, and I'm going to go into what all those are. Over here, you've got 3. But over here, you've only got 2. That's an R18. And then here, you've got an R10, right? And it's got 2. So what do those mean, and what are they for? Well, let's go talk about that. So we're going to go in the office. And of course, I just don't care about organization. My wife hates that. So I'm going to show you what this looks like. So, and with all the refreshed items right now, you're going to see different drawings. So the first thing is, where are all these things going? So if you watch this little video, I've got Leegi, who is my RIPA technical contact. He's showing where the one is right here. And then now he's showing you where the left fitting goes. And it's on the other side of the machine. And it goes there. Okay? So then, let me scroll all the way over to here. You've got this right here. Well, let me back up. So you've got this picture. Like, what in the world is that? Well, basically, this picture right here, this is the gear between the swing support and the swing motor. Okay? This is the ball in the swing support. And then this kind of looks sort of like what it is once I tell you. It's a side swing cylinder, or, and then obviously, clearly grease gun, right? Okay, so you'll see those, and on the new models that they just announced a refresh a couple days ago. So, and I went through this in a little detail, but you're going to start seeing these stickers. So like for example, the R10, it has either swing support or no swing support. And you can start seeing these stickers to where hopefully this will make a little more sense to you. Okay. So that's basically what the two are on the R10, or the one on the R10 if it doesn't have the side swing. Okay. And then there's the little picture. So this, and this is not the best picture, I apologize. This is the R13. So it's kind of showing you, you've got one here, one here, one here, and this aligns right there. Okay, so again, you've got the gear support, so that's going to be the top one. And I apologize about my finger last night. I cut the you-know-what out of myself with a knife, doing some late night maintenance here at the lovely dealership, so you'll have to apologize. I apologize on that. But then this one right here, this is the side swing cylinder grease fitting. And then this one right here is the ball grease for the swing support. And again, that's on the R13. This one is the R15. So straightforward. Left to right. You've got the side swing cylinder. You've got the ball grease fitting for the swing support. And then this one you have the gear that you want to always keep greased between the swing support and the swing motor. Okay. This one is the R18. As you can see, I'm starting small and going bigger. So it only has the two. So it's got the side swing cylinder, and then the right side is the grease fitting for the ball and the swing support. Okay. Here's your picture. So you're going to start seeing these pictures more and more and more as the equipment shows up. So here you've got the R32, and then basically it looks the same, just vertical versus horizontal. R22, R32 is the 3. So you can see, going by the little picture, and what I did, just for my reference, I actually printed this out. So that's what I'd suggest you do, because I can't remember all this stuff until I do it about 20 times. So I printed out a copy of this. I just did a screenshot and then I printed it out. Okay. But that's it. So really then what it comes down to is, why is greasing so important? Well, it's all about wear and tear. It's just like changing the oil in your vehicle. If you don't grease your fittings, your metal on metal contact is going to be worse, and it's just not going to be as durable. Probably outside of the Kubota engine, for a single part, this swing right here is by far and away, I would say, the single most expensive part on an excavator. It's very expensive. And you're talking, even though, yeah, sure, it's made in China, it's still thousands of dollars. And the entire cab, the chassis, everything has to be pulled off that to replace that gear. So some fittings, if you're just barely using the machine and you're not doing a lot of rotational work, what have you, then maybe you don't need to grease all of this, or maybe you do. You know, if you're not curling your bucket, maybe you don't need to grease those fittings on the end of the boom that much. But for when you're doing a lot of traveling, when you're rotating the cab, if you're tilting the boom, you know, where it's got the side swing, anything that you're doing on a regular basis, literally every day, you should have like a little toolbox in your truck where when you get there, actually I should probably do a video on that. But when you get there, or if it's just even on your farm and you're using this every day or so, unless you're just using it for 30 minutes or an hour or whatever. But if you're putting in 4, 5, 6 hours work, there's some of these grease fittings that you need to be doing on a daily basis or weekly basis if you want to maximize the long-term use of your machine, whether that be an excavator, skid steer, your truck, whatever it is. Your differentials on a diesel truck, they should be changed every, I think, like 60,000 miles. However, then there's a note. However, if you're towing a lot and heavy, every 30,000 miles, or maybe it's 45,000 miles. Somebody can fact check me on that. Just like transmission fluid, every 90,000 miles or every 60,000 miles, depending upon your vehicle. However, if it's heavily used in a commercial setting, half that. And again, yeah, it's a pain to do it, but I mean, the cost, especially if you do it, the cost is, in the big picture, it's nothing. Why would you not want to do this to maximize the long-term use and longevity of your vehicle? But that's about it. Feel free to post any questions or comments if you've got them. I'm happy to respond to anything, and if I don't know it, I'll BS my way through it. No, just kidding. I'll actually reach out to Liji, as he's my technical guy over there at Ripa in China, who has been awesome. But anyway, take care. It's Labor Day weekend, so I want everybody to have a good time. But please, please, please be safe and have a good day. Bye.